Alrighty. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's match of Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest Randomizer. We've got two really good runners coming up here. On the left, you have Billick, and on the right, you have Xytoriak. We're going to be in here with this pre-game overlay while we have try and get this match up and started. We'll get through, since a lot of you might be seeing this for the first time, we'll kind of just explain what's going on at the beginning. Anyway, I am Freelance 1787. I am going to be your commentator for this match, as well as participating in this Castlevania 2 tournament as well, so you get the chance to see me play. Looks like we're having a bit of a technical difficulty with the race time timer. Just waiting for the runners to set up and start. But while we do that, I'll kind of explain what settings these guys are playing with and what to expect. So the tournament seeds, we do a standard difficulty, standard logic, standard glitchless logic. Basically, TDLR on the logic is you're not expected to know any of the speed run skips in this game, although they are allowed in the run itself. That you cannot do those tricks. You don't need to do those tricks to be able to beat the seed. And then standard difficulty comes with a special set of flags, which we'll go over quickly and kind of explain how those work. So in the randomizer, every enemy you kill does drop hearts, so you don't have to worry about heart luck in the randomizer. That's a nice quality of life feature. And this randomizer does have an enemy randomizer that also not only randomizes the enemy sprites, but also their health. And the plus minus 50% of the original enemy's health that it's replacing is where the potential enemy health. So you kind of have to know where you are on the screen and how many hits the original enemy would take and figure out what to do there. Also, there are a specific set of checks that we call the merchant checks. The prices are actually randomized. 25% of a set value. I'm not sure what the initial values are, but in the program, the price randomizer. All right, looks like the runners are started. So the price randomizer is 25 plus minus 25% of the original value set in there. So that way it adds a little bit of variety. The number of parts that you need to get specific items. So it looks like our first check is garlic at the Thorn Whip screen for you can see on Xytoriak's screen. Billick's just gonna skip all the checks and start farming. Not necessarily a bad idea. And we got a crystal. Is this even randomized? And the magic cross. So we've got 3 progression items, 2 endgame, 2 Dracula one Dracula progression item with the magic cross, as well as a crystal and garlic. It'll be interesting to see what Xytoriak does here. He's gonna head left. Or no, he's farming for garlic, I think is what he's doing. Grab that garlic. So, kind of explaining how the garlic works. The garlic, it's 2 checks it adds 2 checks to the run where you can drop garlic in a graveyard and it summons the stranger and they can give you an item. Free. So Xytoriak's going to go with the 2 snack strategy of doing the left side during the first day. Billick is going for the farming strat. Neither one is wrong. Xytoriak's in a little bit of a pickle here. He might not have enough health to clear the swamp. It's a really difficult swamp to clear at level 0, especially if you take damage. Again. So going to the screen as Xytoriak is on, enemies typically have 4 HP during daytime. If you want to do the plus minus 50%, they could have as much as 6 or as little as 2. And yeah, his whip is only going to do 1 hit point of damage. We'll get to see what's up here. Looks like Xytoriak lucked down the enemy randomizer. It's got 2 fishmen, a bat, and a Black Panther. At least the boat ride RNG was pretty good. So Xytoriak's going to check the red crystal guy. He has free item. He gets the golden knife. Not a bad item to pick up. That'll allow him a little bit more leeway with certain enemies. He's going to find that the enemies here in the town of Alba are a little too tanky for his liking, but he's going to push on even further to the left. Which also is this is kind of a little bit of an modification to the original two-snack strat that two-snack came up with last year. It's gonna hurt if he takes a game over. He's got 1 life left before he takes a game over, so he's got to be a little bit careful. If he does take a game over, there is a penalty reduction patch in which a game over only takes half your hearts and all of your experience instead of all of both. And hopefully Xytoriak doesn't have to deal with that. You might farm this screen. This is a screen that normally has blobs with 2 HP. It's kind of like a brief respite for the runners that they can just... Because this side is otherwise very tanky. And Xytoriak just took his game over there. Billick is farming in the town. Most likely to pick up all 3 items. So kind of the meta for CV2 Rando is you want to try and get to level 2, get 2 level ups as quickly as possible. So what makes level 2 so significant is as every 2 level ups, Simon gains an extra 16 HP, and each bar of health you see on the screen is worth 4. At level 2, Simon also takes 50% of the damage they would take at level 0. Now Billick picks up his magic cross. Interesting to see which way he goes after this. Magic cross in his crystal. He's going to go left. So Xytoriak has a little bit of a small advantage over Billick going left side but Billick will have more hearts assuming he doesn't take a game over. Interesting to see where he goes. The strategy is once he gets on the other side of the boat, most likely be daytime, so he's going to have a little bit easier time going through because the enemies will have as much health. Xytoriak just hits level 1. That'll help him a bit as well. Because if he hasn't checked the HP of the zombies here in the town of Ondel, or where you pick up the Morning Star, he's going to do the Morning Star check. Collecting the warp back to Jova. That's another feature that's in the Castlevania 2 randomizer. If you pause the game with select and then you press up plus A plus B. So if you are a Metroid or Zelda runner, this is a concept that's pretty familiar to you. Where you use up plus A plus B and it warps you back to the start of the game. Although in this case, it doesn't give you a health penalty. Only you just come back with the maximum health. Looks like Billick is elected to go right instead of left. Does have 2 checks in logic because you get the white crystal that opens up Berkeley Mansion, which is where you pick up the rib in the vanilla game. Catch what Xytoriak saw at the Morning Star. It looks like he did get a whip upgrade. We are in our... A lot of you here is coming from Xytoriak's end. Tries to continue the farm on the left side. I wonder if he's gonna go for the Laruba shortcut. Certainly worth exploring, but because that's a quick way to get both your garlic checks done quickly. So now Billick is headed further to the right. Don't know if he'll make a pit stop at Berkeley Mansion. He doesn't have an oak stake. And it always seems to be the problem in CV2 Rando. Oak stakes seem to be scarce at the worst time. Xytoriak does have 1 garlic check here. This is where you normally get the silk bag. Having that thorn whip is making this screen much easier for him. Could be Ghoster behind him. You may have to take an intentional death before he goes over the wall. It is a little bit scary to try and do it at level 1. Alright, so there's your death. See if he get. First he's gonna go garlic, and then second he's gonna go over the wall. All right, there's the nail. So that is a big progression item for Xytoriak. It may actually, he's gonna deviate off the Laruba shortcut because there are some checks he can do with the nail on the left, on this side of the starting, call it left side. So that opens up two checks on this side of the map, one in each town that has merchants that are blocked off by breakable blocks. Xytoriak's gonna try to do a whip jump here. Unfortunately, he's falling 1 pixel short every time. So that's the example of a whip jump. There, if you time your whip during a jump correctly, you can either gain an extra pixel of height or an extra pixel forward. Xytoriak trying to use that extra pixel of height to get onto that platform instead of having to deal with the swamp. That's a nice mechanic from the game. We're seeing Billick head for Algebra, or the blue crystal spot. Xytoriak's going back to the town to go do the second check. Here, so that way he doesn't have to do those checks later. Sometimes you may just opt to do those checks later since you're likely to pass through this area of the map multiple times. Looks like Xytoriak's going for the level 2 farm. As well as Billick, I believe. Both of them found a good screen to farm. See, they're checking their experience. So based on, whip upgrades are progressive in this randomizer, so Xytoriak found the whip upgrade at the Morningstar location, but it only upgraded his whip to the Thorn Whip. So Billick's gonna check the other garlic spot. It is Laurels. He's gonna fill up his Laurels all the way to 4. You can actually increase the amount of capacity you can use for Laurels if you get an item called the Silk Bag. We'll see if and Xytoriak picks up the heart. He is making all the right moves right now. That's just kind of how Rando works out sometimes. You can call the perfect route and get unlucky, or you can just luck your way through, but in Xytoriak's case this far, he is doing he's doing both. Combination of good gameplay routing and a little bit of good luck on his. So he's already got 3 endgame progression items. Magic Cross, the Nail, and the Heart, the 10-minute mark, as well as a Crystal. Interesting to see if he goes for Laruba checks, or if he elects to wait till later. My personal opinion is he should probably wait till later with the Heart already picked up. The only way where Laruba would help him is if there was a Dracula Holy Water, actually. Would be the only way that Laruba would speed it up for him. Yeah, that is a good question, Frantic. Is this even right? It's like Blue Crystal for Billick would open up Rover Mansion, but he's gonna warp out because Rover does not have an Oak Stake. He's gonna go to the left side to try and pick up the Nail from the Graveyard Duck and the Heart. Xytoriak buys the Silk Bag. Since the other garlic check is free Laurels, that's actually not a bad play. Although Xytoriak obviously doesn't know that information. Looks like Xytoriak is electing to go right side. He's gonna skip bronze. Alright, now he's gonna buy his crystal. Waiting to buy the crystal now allows him to... Oh yeah, because he didn't buy anything. Jova. He's gotta buy that and the Magic Cross. Be interested to see what move he makes afterwards. He has the option to go to bronze, he has the option to go to Berkeley. Although I find bronze is probably the better play, given there's 3 items he can check in bronze. Look, it's the golden knife. He's gonna see how tanky these zombies are. Unfortunately, we already know too tanky. Be interesting to see if Billick elects to go for the shortcut, although given since he already did the other graveyard check, it's very unlikely this is a strat. It's coming up on Ondul. He's going to go to the Morningstar check first, and he's going to pick up his whip upgrade. Then I assume he's going to check the Graveyard Duck, get the nail, finish left side. Now Xytoriak has his Magic Cross. He's got 1 Crystal, 2 Drac Parts, and a Magic Cross, so that's 4 out of the 9 items he'll need to beat this game. Although I still say... And you saw right there on Xytoriak's screen, he's doing what... called Intentional Death. He's floor dropping into water because it has a faster... It loads the death animation a little bit quicker. That saves a couple seconds, and then also because he's out of hearts, he's going to elect to take an intentional game over to reduce the amount of damage that a game over can do to his heart count. It's actually a pretty smart, intelligent move. If you want to have the least amount, if you want to mitigate some pretty painful deaths. So Billick's got his Thorn Whip. Most likely on his way to check the Graveyard Duck. It'll be interesting to see if he makes the play for Laruba. That is an out-of-logic check, but is doable. Of course, if anyone's seen a CV2 speedrun, how will we get to Laruba? The Blob Boost. Although in this seed, much more possible with the Medusa Head. Xytoriak does here. He's gonna, with 1 check in Varos, it'd be interesting to see if he does it. He's gonna go, I think he's gonna go for that. He gets that floor drop. Bit of an explanation on how floor drop. So, as you've already noticed by now, Castlevania 2 Randomizer is not completely glitchless, like other Castlevania randomizers, and that's probably because pace of the game can be a little bit slow compared to Symphony or Aria's Sorrow. Because Simon only moves at 1 speed. Xytoriak bought. Looks like he bought something. Did he buy an oak? It looks like he's heading for Berkeley Mansion. He might have bought an oak steak. So that's a huge piece of information for Xytoriak, knowing that there's an oak steak in the town of Varos, so that way he can pick one up on the way into Berkeley Mansion and the way out. It is indeed an oak steak. Billick electing to refill his health at the church. That is, sometimes that can be a strategic plan. Xytoriak having a little bit of trouble with the ghost. He's got, what we call the graveyard set of enemies. That allow him to refill his heart count pretty quick. You can see what's in this mansion. And he's got the nail, so that means he can check all the clues. Yes, this game has hints. You can thank Hilari for adding hints to the game. And not too long after the hints were added, we found out that the hints actually make the game go faster. Mostly because it tells you what checks not to do. Sometimes it'll tell you, sometimes it'll give you good information on where checks to do, and you can start skipping spots. We'll see. Like I said, they've done enough checks where it's possible the clues just don't help them. First clue. The diamond is sealed in the Rover's Orb. That's actually a good clue to have. That means you don't need an oak stick to get through Rover Mansion, the heart. Location where we normally pick up the heart. Xytoriak can go in and out of... Xytoriak and Billick can go in and out of that mansion really quick. Not sure if Billick did finished the left side checks. If If he doesn't have the heart, that's going to put him at a slight disadvantage. There's the Oak Stick and Billick's spot taking finally. Start making quick work of this screen. A lot of enemies shooting fireballs, doesn't have the rid to deflect them. Coming up on a clue check as well as a merchant check. So, we have Sacred Flame. Who picks that up? Nobody. Free Whip and Laruba. So the guy that gives you laurels normally will give you a whip instead in this randomizer. Xytoriak elects to jump down. I mean, fall down. Falling down and jumping down works. Gonna go check the Berkeley Orb. He only knows the Orb and Rover. Although he did skip that clue. Because he hit that, instead of hitting the clue, he hit the double floor drop. He's got the eyeball. That's now 3. So Billick is not too far behind Xytoriak. He did leave that clue behind, I believe. And he hit that double floor drop, so it's a trade-off, obviously. We'll find out when Billick gets there. So diamond sealed in the rover orb, Billick gets that clue as well. Billick's probably thinking, dang, I wish I knew this information 5 minutes ago. And, getting the blue crystal before finding out that information is probably actually going to hurt Billick in the seed. Now Xytoriak will get the blue crystal and you can just go straight to Rover. We'll see if both runners elect to do a shortcut called the cemetery. We call it the cemetery skip, where you do a whip jump to get over a high wall, similar to the blob boost, though you don't need a damage boost over a wall. Do a whip jump and give you that extra pixel allows you to jump 3 tiles high. Of course, the penalty for missing that jump is a death. Bill gets his free whip and Laruba clue. Trying to set up floor drop, doesn't get it. Just having a little bit of trouble with that floor drop. So kind of just explaining floor drops here while there's a little bit of dead time. Dagger is sealed in the Laruba orb. You see a clue like that. The dagger is actually quite useful in this randomizer. You can use it to crit you can actually use it to crit Dracula. At the end, and it fights over in like 10. It is very anticlimactic compared to other ways. Nice item to have. It's like I always feel better when I have it. Xytoriak's gonna check the Sacred Flame spot on his way to Algebra. Billick picks up his eyeball. And Xytoriak gets an oak stake. He's probably laughing. I spent 47 hearts for an oak stake, and there is a free one on the 9. They're literally my next check. Xytoriak is gonna skip this clue. He could have picked it up. He could have read it using the eyeball. That'll be interesting if that piece of information ends up being difference or not. Xytoriak's gonna head for Algebra to do the graveyard check and the blue crystal check. Billick not that far behind. So, Xytoriak has the heart, Billick. But Billick did not pick up on left side. Recheck after the nail. And, Xytoriak also has the advantage of being close enough to Rover when he picks the blue crystal and having an oak stick. Although he wouldn't need an oak stick. If you go into Rover, he already knows about the orb. Billick dealing with a little bit of lag. Sprite overload. Xytoriak's filling up with Laurel. Since he has a silk bag, he can get as many as 8. It'll be interesting to see if Cemetery Jump comes into play after Xytoriak checks. If Xytoriak elects to check Rover, he can check Brahms whenever he wants, thanks to the warp function in this game, which is probably the biggest contributor for why this randomizer is not hours long. Blue crystal for Xytoriak. Let's see what he does here. I think he's gonna go for if he does a floor drop, he's gonna go the Rover. But he might not have his sub pixels set up. So he's just gonna brute force that floor drop until he gets the sub pixel that works. Does give Billick a little bit of time to make it. A little bit faster, still a little bit faster than normal. He's gonna work. He's gonna make here. If he's got the heart, that's not necessarily a bad idea. 4 checks. Xytoriak getting that floor drop first try. Because if you don't get it first try, it may be a while before you get it. One of those floor drops that isn't set up by doing some vertical movements, special jumps, touching stairs, etc. That one is just one and done. Gets that another trick, a long jump. Right, that is another frame perfect skip, frame perfect trick. There's a lot of them in this game. Fortunately, not nearly as difficult as some of the frame perfect skips in the first Castlevania game that you got to see yesterday. And we'll also get to see those skips, TV1 skips on Tuesday when Retro Dismas races Trisk Lion Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time as part of SpeedGaming Live. As a Castlevania tournament. It's like Billick's gonna do left side. Xytoriak selecting to go for the clue first and then the merchant second. Oh, uh-oh. He didn't read the clue. He menued out the clue before he could see it. Right, now he's gonna head for Brahms. Billick's electing to buy the silk bag. Probably pick up the heart. Definitely gonna be interesting. It looks like Xytoriak is electing to fade Laruba Mansion for later. Save Laruba. He does have the advantage. He has 2 extra checks on the left side. He's going to go to Brahms, using the heart at the river. Although if he forgets to equip it, you can actually re-equip it, jump on the boat, and then it fixes everything. Having a little bit of trouble with that menu. Menu boss is undefeated. That death looked fishy. It's pretty funny. It's like Xytoriak had 8 laurels and he died twice in the boat. Oops. Xytoriak having all sorts of trouble with his menus. Alright. Billick's picked up the heart, now he's closing in. I would say Xytoriak's probably about 2.5 minutes ahead at this point. Unless Billick likes to... Unless this check is... Upcoming diamond check is nothing, and Billick likes to skip it. That's about the biggest time save he can have right now. Fortunately, this bronze area isn't too challenging if once you get one whip upgrade. At worst, it takes 3 hits to take care of the enemies in daytime. And nighttime might be a little bit worse, but daytime with the Thorn Whip in this area is not too bad. Yeah, sometimes it can be difficult to pick up the bat. So, I feel like this time Alex to use a Fishman to boost himself left instead of getting hit by a bat. It's actually a pretty good strategy there. So Billick's gonna go for the laurels at the diamond check. That'll allow him to fill up all the way to 8. It'll be interesting to see what move either runner makes after Brahms, since they're pretty much tied to this point. Although, it'll be interesting to see if Billick decides to fade Rover, because we already know that Rover has nothing. We the viewers no, but Billick does not know that yet. He only knows what's in the orb. So, Xytoriak will be entering bronze first. Those fishmen have impeccable aim when they're guarding stairs. It can be quite frustrating. Billick's gonna pick up laurels, 4 to be sure. I think you only have 1 coming in. You only get 2 a pop when you get laurels at any particular location in this randomizer. So you gotta do it 4 times if you want to fill up to 8. Alright, so there's our first example of a golden knife crit. If you have 2 overlapping hitboxes that are perfectly overlapping, you can it removes one of the enemies. Maybe we'll get to see another example of this. Not quite. Yeah, and the eyeballs are awful on stairs. Alright, so Xytoriak's trying to set up a floor drop here. Doesn't get it. Doesn't get a second try either. And it's probably a good chance the subpixels has been messed up by now. He really wants to get that floor drop because there is a lizardman right in front of him. Well, he's got to be careful. If he gets hit, obviously, he'll get pushed up into the platform that he's trying to clip through. Looks like the worst of it is over for Xytoriak. He's gonna set up the backup floor drop here. By resetting his subpixel with using the stairs, and then setting up a floor drop. Subpixel knows that works. And another fishy death for Xytoriak. That's gonna hurt a little bit because, well, fortunately for Xytoriak, he had a oak stake already in his possession, but he's gonna lose half his hearts. So he's gonna do the Retro Gaming 2084 setup. Garlic needed to get some laurels. You knew that already. And he's gonna successfully get the jump into Death's room, but he's gonna check the orb first. No, he's gonna kill Death first. Since he's got a Thorn Whip, Death has 128 HP, so that means he's gonna have to hit him 64 times with the whip. And that might be a bad idea compared to what could be in this orb, which is the red crystal. So now that's 3 out of 7. That's now 5 out of the 7 items you'll need to beat the game. And that also puts Laruba Mansion in logic. Xytoriak gonna use his laurels here. He's got a lot of them, so it's like, make sure he doesn't get killed off by death. Alright, so Death was hiding garlic. No wonder he smells. Alright, no death jump for Billick. That's gonna cost him 15 seconds. He's gotta take the walk of shame. Xytoriak's gonna pick up an oak stick before leaving. I don't know if he's gonna go for the clue in the corner that nobody ever goes for. Okay, sometimes I go for it. Alright, so Billick's gonna pick up his red crystal. Decide what he wants to do with Death. He's gonna equip the golden knife. So Xytoriak's got his oak stick and he's out. Ooh, nice menuing by Billick there. Instead of getting killed by a scythe, he gets laureled instead. Gets to the wide side. Death. Like I said, 64 whip strikes. Kill Death with a thorn whip. They don't have really any good way to... any fun ways to kill him, like we call it. Gotta find the fun way. Alright, so Billick is electing to not pick up the oak stick, and Xytoriak's getting bullied by Richard. Richard wins Skeleton of the Year. Of course, if you don't know it's a fun story. While we have time, we kind of explain the Richard meme. So if you know about the old skeleton name, obviously, I think if you've ever watched any speedruns of classic Castlevanias, they have a nickname for the skeletons called with initials DV. We just so about a year ago, we decided to change the name from to Richard because we wanted to go with a meme name. And to keep it PG. So that's just kind of how the meme came along, and then there's this Castlevania 1 runner that you'll see later in the Castlevania 1 tournament. Socrates put out a viral clip where he got killed by a skeleton, and he just screams Richard. Screams Richard, and that's kind of just how it took off. Billick's going left side. Xytoriak is going for blob boost. Interesting. This is my opinion on this. If you're going to go for blob boost, why didn't you just try cemetery jump? It'll be interesting. Both of them going for blob boost when they didn't have to. Mentioned the cemetery jump. Obviously, that's another shortcut to Laruba since it's now in logic for both runners. Xytoriak taking a game over. He'll get a whip upgrade, though, when he gets to Laruba. So he's going to use the Medusa head to try and get over this wall. Medusa head's going to be a little bit tricky because of how fast they move third try. It's plenty quick. Here we go. Xytoriak really can't kill anything. Everything in this mansion has... the base HP in this mansion is 30. And then we don't know how many hits they'll take because the enemy randomizer could be as few as 8 or as many as 23 hits with the Thorn Whip. Looks like Billick is electing to take the Tornado. Be an interesting diversion of routes. So both runners will need Rib and the Ring. Not sure why he's going to Doina, of all places. Alright, Laurels. Good thing to buy on the way up if Xytoriak is going to Bodley after this. Bit of a puzzling decision by Billick to go to Doina this quickly. That's usually the move you make if you're one piece away and you're trying to win. Alright, there's your free whip upgrade that we have known about for about the last 15 minutes. And Xytoriak gets greeted with an eyeball. Fortunately, well, we'll see what's in Doina. It's a silver knife. We need Frantic's thoughts on this. Alright, so Xytoriak picks up the dagger. You probably already... No, he did not know that. Because he skipped that clue. Xytoriak, you doing the any percent kill on... using the dagger and the chain whip. So the whip combined with the gold knife will do 16 damage to Camilo, so 15 of those will kill her. Unfortunately, Camilo broke the sunlock, but he got good RNG anyway. Xytoriak got good RNG. And now he's got Morningstar. So now the game isn't even hard for him. It's just a matter of cleanup. Be interested to see what movie makes next, obviously. Didn't find anything in Laruba other than whip upgrades. Which, of course, in this situation, the dagger is definitely a big pickup for him because he doesn't have to worry about hitting Drac with the whip. This could be one of those seeds where you get late Holy Water and your last piece is stuck behind Holy Water, which has got to be frustrating. So Xytoriak, does he buy Laurels? No. Alright. Billick's gonna try and break the block. If this is Holy Water, he's still in this match. Nope, he's still in the match. Because it's Holy Water. Alright, so that's gonna be an interesting pickup. We know Laruba isn't hard required to beat the game. This is Laurel's 2 whip upgrades and a dagger, but he's gonna go that way. And he's gonna not go that way, because that makes sense. That gives him 2 checks in Algebra, a check in Veros, another one in Alba, and those are your Holy Water checks. The Xytoriak's gonna pick up Holy Water not too far from where he's at. So the decision for Billick to warp out of the Flame Whip spot isn't necessarily too hurtful, but he does have to go through, it would have made more sense to hit Brahms first. We'll see what happens. He decides to skip Laruba, which would help him. Versus, checking it later. Alright, Xytoriak picks up his Holy Water. Does have 2 items he needs to pick up to beat the game, so he may check both Bodley and Doina. Not a bad death again, if allowing yourself to get hit by that bird, because you have full health going into a mansion. Although Bodley is probably an easier mansion to do thanks to the enemy randomizer. No, but he's gonna skip Bodley. That's interesting. Even if he were to guess right on Bodley and had an endgame progression item, it would not help him. Just give him, it's just a kind of bizarre thing. We're just trying to think alongside him. Alright, so chain whip is vanilla. Is this even randomized? Whip upgrade. Billick's got the chain whip. Alright, so Xytoriak is gonna go left. And check Alba first. See what Billick does here. He'll get a... If I remember correctly, there was an oak stake at the... Yeah, there was an oak stake at the Sacred Flame. Yeah, he's gonna go for it. I just saw him do the setup. And... doesn't quite get the floor drop. So Xytoriak's gonna do the upstairs check in Alba. Maybe that was the reason why Xytoriak elected not to check Bodley Mansion Oak Stake. Lack of an Oak Stake. Alright. More intel for Billick. Well, now he knows he doesn't have to check Rover at all. Imagine if Xytoriak could actually hit that check. Alright, Rib, man, you cannot afford it. Shame! Made the right guess, but unfortunately his Simon's bank account did not have enough hearts. It's safe, so he's gonna have to go get some. So we'll find out where the last item is. We'll find out soon where the last item is. If it's in Bodley, that helps Xytoriak. If it's not in Bodley, and it's in Algebra, Billick, I think, has the advantage. The seat has had plenty of twists and turns. And we're down to 5 checks remaining. Well, 4, sorry. Oak Stake. Not sure what Xytoriak's trying to do here. He's already cleared LaRue, but he's trying to do a floor drop. He's got the red crystal. Or is he trying to farm? No, or maybe he's going to... Actually, maybe he's taking this down. Oh, I know what he's doing. He's going back to Algebra. This is a shortcut. Alright, so Billick doing the last check in Algebra. We already know where the rib is. He does not. They're not doing my strat for the floor drop screen. That's disappointing. It saves 5 seconds. This will give Xytoriak a chance to farm for that rib. Right there. Apparently Billick was frustrated over something. Did not get anything. Alright, so he's going to take the cemetery, jump to LaRue, but he's going to have flame... Not going to find any Drac parts, but he will have Flame Whip. Alright, so Xytoriak was able to get over... Oh, he was trying to floor drop into the swamp. That's what he was trying to do. Try and get his health back up to full. Billick's trying to do the cemetery jump. As I mentioned earlier, if you miss it at all, it's death. Third try. tries its charm. See if Xytoriak got on the other side. Nope. The runners are about to meet each other. Alright, they're right on top of each other. Now Billick's gonna go to LaRue, but he's not gonna find anything particularly useful. But we already know our final item is, it has to be in Bodley Mansion through process of elimination. Xytoriak accidentally hit his menu. Fortunately, nothing else have happened, so we're still good. That's a nasty swamp. Here's, especially in that direction. Now he's gonna head to Veros. You can see that. I think you can sense the frustration for both runners. Billick's just getting bullied by a spider upstairs. Yeah, sometimes the stairs are the worst enemies in this game. Because not only are the stairs, you go slow on the stairs, you can actually get knocked down. You can actually get knocked off the stairs if you take damage. Xytoriak heading for Veros. He's only going to pick up a whip upgrade. Also, that Spirit Knight has apparently learned how to levitate. Not allowed. Don't remember if Billick ever checked the upstairs Alba check. No, if he does have the rib, then I think he actually is a little bit closer to Bodley than Xytoriak is right now. If he doesn't have the rib, it's gonna be pretty painful to find out where it is. Xytoriak gets an oak stake. That'll give him the ability to go through Bodley. Full clear. Those are the only two checks he has left. Once he gets past this chain whip check. Billick's got Morning Star. That'll make the Camilla fight a little bit easier. That double floor drop doesn't get it. He's gonna read the clue. And he's not gonna buy the whip because Flame Whip is overkill at this point. Xytoriak going further to the right towards Algebra. It was an initial plan, but unfortunately the Swamp Screed scuttled that. Alright, so Billick's gonna warp, because he already knows what's in the orb. That was a check, that was a clue that he picked up that Xytoriak did not. This is gonna be interesting. I think Billick has a shot here to pull off the upset. He's gonna do the, assuming he has, if he hasn't done the upstairs Alba check, he certainly can. Billick's gonna go upstairs. You saw a menu, the Holy Water. So he's now gonna check the upstairs, and he already knows the other checks are taken. So. It's gonna be a race, but like I said, I think Billick's got inside positions because he's closer. He's already gonna be getting the rib. He's gonna get the rib first. We know the rib. If Billick has enough hearts, this is going to be interesting. If he does have enough hearts, he can just farm down. Since it just rolled nighttime for him. Billick cannot afford. He needs to kill one more zombie to be able to afford a rib. Tough break. All he's gotta do is step outside. Xytoriak's gonna fill up on laurels. Not a bad strategy also to fill up on laurels because you're gonna need laurels for the Bridge of Doom. Once you hit go mode. The first screen you run to after you hit go mode. Now Billick's got his rib. He knows where he needs to go to get the final Drac part. One more ride on the tornado. And laurels for Xytoriak. On the final. Oh, vanilla laurels, by the way. Oh, so how laurels work in this game is it's basically invincibility in a can. When you use them, Simon becomes invulnerable. To cross the Bridge of Death, you must answer me these 3 questions. Fortunately for Billick, if he does have to buy the final Drac part, there is... there is a cheap farm spot in Bodley that was unintentionally created. So the only question is it the merchant or is it the orb? Also, will we not? We probably won't see the double floor drop wraparound jump in Bodley. That's my thing. Alright, so Xytoriak's now got his rib. Billick's gonna go for the check on the orb. I don't know if there was a clue that mentioned the door. By the way, if you read a clue that says door, it's the merchant. The oversight error because of the door rando feature. Alright, Billick's going straight for the orb. Be interesting. I still think he's gonna have enough. He's got enough of a lead that if he's wrong here, it's not gonna hurt him too badly. But it does open him up for open it up for Xytoriak to close a little bit. Close on it. A couple minutes to close. Alright, he's got the ring. Billick is in go mode at 55 minutes and 58 seconds on his timer. Alright, so now that Billick's in go... So now Billick just has to brave the Bridge of Doom, the swamp of... I'll have to come up with a name. The swamp... Town of Yomi, and then the Vlat Graveyard. Get to Dracula's castle. So just a reminder, this is a double elimination tournament, so if Xytoriak does, so the loser's match is not eliminated from the tournament. They'll have a chance to redeem themselves in the bottom bracket. Well, let's say from last year's Simon's Claws tournament, Billick's definitely redeemed himself in this one. Alright, so coming up is the Bridge of Doom. Almost guaranteed to have to use at least one set of laurels for the screen. The Swamp of Perpetual Strength. The Swamp of Sadness. I like Trail's answer the best. The Swamp of Sadness. If you got at least 3 laurels, the Bridge of Doom and the Swamp of Sadness. Xytoriak is not doing the double floor drop wraparound jump. It's a double floor drop, and then you gotta hit this wraparound jump. It's slow. It's slower if you don't get it. This is slower than this strat than if you don't. Collision detection is not a feature of this game, as you saw on Xytoriak's screen. Alright, so Billick's now in the Glad Graveyard. So we're close to the end game. This Billick's on the last screen of enemies in the game. Assuming he has all the quest parts, he should be able to break the blocks, and he's going to take an intentional death, although he has Flame Whip. I don't know why. Although he's going to take a death anyway. He would have taken a death anyway if he got hit. So Billick's cleared the is now on the way to Dracula's castle. He broke the blocks. Now Xytoriak is in go mode himself. Although Billick certainly has to be a little careful, but he's probably going to go for 16 Whip Strike. Oh wait, no. Golden Knife to kill, along with the Flame Whip, should be more than enough. Each volley will do 64 damage. Drac has 240 health. Or sorry, 60 damage. I can't math. The Flame Whip does 15 damage for some reason. Even though it's not 8 times 2 is 16. Billick going for quad drop. Fails once, fails twice, fails the third time. Fails 4 times, says screw it. One more floor drop to go. Try and set up again. Doesn't get it a second time. Gets it the third time. And now he's on to the final confrontation, which in this game is kind of anti-climactic, especially with a Flame Whip. Alright. Let's see if Billick can pull off the upset, although it'd be a massive upset if he doesn't at this point. Alright, so the final fight. Dracula. Billick's turned the wrong way. He's having a little bit of trouble with that whip. He does have the gold knife if he does use his double whip technique. He's having a little bit of trouble getting on the air. So it's just gonna go with say gold knife, and Billick takes it. Takes the match with a race time finish of 101.20 on race time, although based on his in-game RTA time of 101.12. Xytoriak is only about 2.5 minutes away from the end. But we have our first upset of the SGL tournament. It ended up coming down to how the runners did their holy water checks, and Xytoriak electing to move on from the rib maybe earlier than he should have as well. He ended up and both runners basically ended up exhausting almost all their checks to get to the ring as well. And that's kind of what kept Billick in the race, even though Xytoriak took a big lead early. Like I said, it's not over until the last item is picked up. Xytoriak now making the move towards Dracula's castle. Yeah, it was a dumb seed, wasn't it? Xytoriak now, we'll see if he can get the quad drop here. Just gonna break all the blocks. The 1 frame, there's the 2 frame Holy Water Toss. Now he's gonna go for quad drop. And he hits it! Xytoriak hits the quad drop, so he'll at least take a consolation prize for this one. If he can get the 2-shot dagger kill. Gonna equip that dagger because dagger's a really easy way to kill Drac. I don't think he's in the right spot. That felt like a 31 or 32 pixel. There we go, he's in the 30 spot now. Alright, so Xytoriak finishes with a 104.05 race time, which is a 104 flat. 104 flat based on RTA timing. Alright, GG's to both the runners. Well, Billick a little bit edged him out just a little bit in this seed. To mention, this is a double elimination tournament, so Xytoriak is not out of the tournament by any means. He has a chance to redeem himself in the lower bracket, based on who ends up having to drop down there. There's plenty of races to be had nonetheless. So just kind of plugging in, we have another match scheduled for the upcoming weekend. Frantic will be racing against Megals, an 8 versus 9 seed matchup. Saturday, and I'll double check the time real quick. Alright, so that match is set up for 6 p.m. Eastern this upcoming Saturday. You'll definitely want to check it out. So now that we got both runners on the final death screen, final tally for Billick: 17 deaths, 437 kills, and 1,672 hearts. For Xytoriak, 24 deaths, 427 kills, and 1,772 hearts. Pretty close on both the kills and the heart count, I must say. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this race of CV2 Rando. Like I said, if this is your first time first time seeing the Rando, I recommend I'm gonna plug the. Actually, let me see. I should ask if it's okay with the SpeedGaming staff if I plug in the CV2 Rando website. Not, but basically basically it's a fun randomizer. You'll get to see more of it in the tournament. We got a double elimination tournament coming up here on SpeedGaming Live 2022. And I don't know if we'll have both runners in for a post-game interview. If not, we'll just move on along to the other, some of the other fun tournaments going on as part of this whole entire SpeedGaming.